Hello, I'm a little bit early, so I'll vamp for some time. I was all set to go. Hi, Kelly. Hi. Oh, you are first. I feel like that never happens. Let's see, I'm 13 minutes early. Oops. So we'll let people join as they go. Hello, hello. Thank you for joining. Hi. Okay, we got a few now. I'm a little early, so I feel a little bad. I'm reading this crazy story. I'm here too. How are you doing today? Hi, Bass Anderson. Hello. I'm doing very well. There was some crazy news over the weekend. We'll get into Trump. Duke of Earl. Good afternoon. We'll get in Trump. We'll get into not into Trump. Ew. We'll get to Trump. Some of the craziness, hi Miles, that happened. Emeryville, California. Did you guys see this video? 300. I see 300 here. I saw 400 somewhere else. 3 to 400 teenagers just went berserk in a shopping center. So it's a Westfield mall, which they're pretty nice malls. And I guess yesterday it was $4 movie day. So a lot of these teenagers just swarmed an AMC over by, I'll show you the video. I have different videos here. I didn't download this. Over by an AMC, and this happened right around 5 p.m. So this wasn't even at night. Look.
And theater's on top of the stairs, so when you look down, it's just like mobs of people just running and running. And when we ask people like what's happening, they're like people are going around pepper spraying people. There's people like throwing chairs, and it's just very hectic. Yeah. And the only way we could get out, because obviously we're upstairs, like we can't go downstairs because we just put ourselves into that. So we went through the parking lot, and then once we left the parking lot, we heard a gunshot. It was pretty loud. Wow. And you knew it was a gunshot.
And what's crazy is, first of all, am I just old? Where are their parents? How are there many teachers congregating in one area that's not a school or a sporting event, and there's zero parents? And they plan to meet up that many kids in one place at a time. So they either planned it on social media or something like that. Crazy. And there's another story outside of, now this, I believe Emeryville is outside of Oakland. But there's another story outside of or in San Francisco, and their flagship Nordstrom's is closing. Now, that might not sound like a big deal, but it's been, as far as what I'm reading, sort of an anchor or a staple in downtown San Francisco. This Nordstrom was, or it was, yesterday was their last day open, 5 stories. Not only that, they're shutting down the Nordstrom rack that's close by. And the reason for shutting down, the owner, who, by the way, his name is Nordstrom. I didn't know that. Now I do. His name is something Nordstrom. He's a Nordstrom. That's where the name came from. I didn't know. But he said that we're just not pulling in profits at these stores. The conditions around us have deteriorated, and we're not, it just doesn't make sense for us to be here right now. And unfortunately, the more you have these mass mobs by teenagers, and by the way, that's been happening. I don't know about other places across the US, but it's been happening at a lot of places all throughout California. It happened I have a friend that lives in Manhattan Beach, and during it wasn't last summer, maybe the summer before, it happened there. Like 50 teenagers just showed up out of nowhere and were just running wild. It happened in something that's did we there was 7-Eleven thing. It was just all of a sudden storm. The weather's kind of bad. So a little bit better. Okay, I think we're okay. Howdy, Sarah. Howdy, walkie talkie. Okay, I think we're good. That was very scary. But yeah. And pretty soon, obviously that lady was terrified. And while they were just rioting, I'm in Virginia and it's raining. It's been raining on and off all day. So hopefully it doesn't interfere too much. But that's the end game. We can't have nice things. Businesses will start to pull out. And who wants to be that terrified while going on an afternoon shopping trip or to go out and see a movie, which are already expensive? You're paying for popcorn, a soda, or if you're me, nacho cheese and chips and your ticket, and then you have to deal with that. They actually used to they had police posted up. There was a movie theater that I used to go to growing up. It was an AMC 18 in Swanee, Georgia. And they used to have off duty police officers all around there because a lot of teenagers would go there at night. It's funny you say Bass said, I bet they are from state run institutions, just saying the way they act and how organized it all is. It's funny. I used to work at it. I'm serious. If you followed, hi, Sir TDS, if you followed me for a while, I've told these stories to oblivion. I used to work at a state run acute care psychiatric hospital for children and adolescents. And that's exactly it. That behavior is very familiar. They'll wait for an opportune time and then they'll just go nuts. They'll fighting each other, fighting with staff, just running amok, tearing things up. That's what they do. And you use the word state-run institution. Yeah, that's why a lot of people don't like for kids to go to places like that. Unfortunately, it's necessary sometimes because they do learn behaviors that they wouldn't have learned just at home living with their parents. Yesterday was National Cinema Day. I saw 3 movies. I just spit. Ew, I'm sorry. I saw 3 movies over the weekend. I received $60 in free food vouchers. What? That was all weekend? I missed out. I was actually thinking maybe I'll see an afternoon movie or something today since it's raining. I missed it. Well, you know what else I missed? This is kind of a weird place to start out the stream, but I just have to share it. Ron DeSantis, and I'm not saying I don't like him. I wait till the bitter end to throw my support behind anyone. I'm obviously going to vote for probably whoever the Republican is, because that's going to be the closest thing to get us somewhat back to normal. Anywho, Ron DeSantis, we've talked about it before. It's just, I don't know what happened. As a governor, he was so popular and so great, but campaign DeSantis is just very different than Governor DeSantis. And it's just, I don't know if he has bad people behind him that I don't know, but I didn't even catch these smiles. So this happened a few times throughout the GOP debate, where he gives his statement and then gives this awkward smile after. That's just watch this. The edit of this is kind of funny. What is happening? Hold on, it's really quick. What is happening?
And I will not let you down.
I will not let you down. What is happening? Ron DeSantis was a big disappointment coming out against the First Amendment in order to accept money from a certain demographic, and we're not allowed to talk about. Oh, I totally forgot about that. Yeah, just some weird stuff. Mainstream glitches. I gotta watch it one more time.
And I will not let you down.
That's a Mitch McConnell smile. Say the thing. Say the thing. Now smile into the camera after you say the thing. Sorry, that's really unrelated to anything we're talking about. I just wanted to show you that and also watch it again a few times. Okay. So Trump was booked on Thursday. I believe he was there for a total of 23 minutes in and out of the Fulton County Jail, which, by the way, I'm sure you heard is just an infamously horrible, horrible jail. He arrived in Atlanta in his motorcade, and I don't think it completely went over the way that Democrats were hoping it would go over. I honestly think, I really do think that it was a hit and a miss. It was a miss for them. I really do think that they thought this was going to humiliate Trump. I really do think they thought this was going to humiliate his supporters, and it has actually had the complete opposite effect. And by the way, this was Trump just rolling up to the Newark airport, not even in Atlanta. Also, let me just tell you something about Atlanta. That's where I grew up. I haven't been there for a while, but I do know that, especially in a city like Atlanta, it's on the same trajectory as a lot of Democrat-run cities. It's just, it has seriously, seriously declined. Certain areas of Atlanta have seriously declined within the past 10 years. So you already have that. And then you already have people that are living there that have lived there for a long time that are watching everything deteriorate because of these bad policies. And then you see politicians spending time and throwing the books at Trump. I mean, that opens a lot of people's eyes, especially if you live in a crime-ridden area, which a lot of Atlanta is. And the area that he drove through is an area that has a lot of crime. So this is really opening up a lot of people that maybe hadn't been awake before, just to show you. And I think to a lot of people too, if they're willing to do that to him, what would they do to me? But here's Trump. This is his motorcade going to the airport, which, you have to admit, that was pretty badass. Excuse my language. That was very badass. Look at that. I wish I had the sound on. I don't, but and then you had all the images of Trump driving through Fulton County, Georgia, and all of the people there just really excited to see him. And I think that he garnered a whole new respect from a lot of people, because they're like, if he's willing to put himself on the line this bad for me. Also, you have to keep in mind too, Democrats really catered themselves to the criminal justice crowd, to the crowd that thinks people are unfairly prosecuted and unfairly jailed. That's the crowd who they've been pandering to for how long? And they're doing this to Trump. Again, it goes back to, if they'll do that to someone like him, what would they do to someone like me? Oh yeah, wait, where is the official? Oh darn. Well, let me get it for you. We have the official mugshot. Let me see if I can get it. He definitely practiced that mugshot. That was definitely practiced. Oh darn, where is it? Oh, I have it. It's just not the big one that I wanted. Actually. Oh well, I'm sorry. Wait, is it in? Let me look in one more place. Oh no. Oh well, I mean, this is it. So that was his first tweet back. So no, he made it pretty. They made it pretty epic. He came back on Twitter as soon as his mugshot was released, and also his campaign in the past 3 weeks has raised $20 million. Since this happened, he raised $7 million, $4 million in one day, which was his biggest campaign day ever. So it completely backfired. And the support that he's getting because of it totally backfired. And I feel like that typically happens with people that do bad things. They get a little bit overconfident. You had this that went up already. Trump mural in Atlanta, mugshot backfired spectacularly. Yeah, I agree. What was that? There was another thing. Where did all of oh there it is. Is that there it is? I'm like, where did all of my slides go? They're hiding from me and I don't like that. Yeah. My computer. Oh, I know what I did. I know what I did. I know what I did. Hold on. I'm sorry, you guys. New. Okay. Where is the article? I'm so sorry. I'm just moving something. I lost a slide. Ironically, RICO laws might be the key to cleaning up the deep state and big tech. Yeah. Slides. Oh, this is kind of a fun video. So this was the moment that's the moment that he went live, that he came back to to Twitter.
Just a striking image
I mean, it's just wild. Whether you like the guy or dislike the guy, it's wild to see the support that he has. Rico Suave. I mean, that's a lot of support. I don't really know that many people that garner that much excitement and that, well, at least political figures. So, and this is what he said after.
I really believe this is a very sad day. Thank you very much for being.
That's after he left Fulton County.
Thank you very much for being here. I really believe it's a very sad day for America. This should never happen. If you challenge an election, you should be able to challenge an election. I thought the election was a rigged election.
Well, you should be. I mean, I don't understand why you can't ask questions. Well, you should be able to. And I think, I believe this is him getting back on the plane. Obviously, he's close to a plane. I think he's still in Fulton County. This is after he left the jail. And again, that's another thing that's opening people's eyes, because a lot of people who are accusing him and trying to persecute him have questioned things themselves, and you're allowed to do that. When did that become illegal?
Stolen election, and I should have every right to do that. As you know, you have many people that you've been watching over the years do the same thing, whether it's Hillary Clinton or Stacey Abrams or many others. When you have that great freedom to challenge, you have to be able to, otherwise you can have very dishonest elections. What has taken place here is a travesty of justice. We did nothing wrong. I did nothing wrong. And everybody knows that I've never had support. And that goes with the other ones too. What they're doing is election interference. They're trying to interfere with an election. There's never been anything like it in our country before. This is their way of campaigning. And this.
Well, if that was their way of campaigning, they really only helped Trump's campaign and his popularity. They finally, this was a different thing, but a federal judge, this was the January 6th trial, I believe. It's hard to keep up with it all. Hello, Greg. So this was just released earlier today. A federal judge ruled that Trump will be tried March 4th on conspiracy charges, rejecting that his 2024 run should affect the trial schedule. It says, Mr. Trump, like any defendant, will have to make the trial date work regardless of his schedule. So, and a lot of people are criticizing this date because March 4th, that is the day before, good morning, that's the day before Super Tuesday. But here, I have, you'll enjoy this clip. You'll enjoy it very much. So this was MSNBC. This is the kind of photo bomb that I like, and I think we should bring back more of these. Look at these guys right behind him. It's pretty funny.
The latest, Ken.
Jose, in a stark repudiation of Donald Trump's attorneys, Judge Tanya Chutkan has set a trial date for March 4th of next year in this case. That's the date jury selection.
See, I like that kind of photo bomb. It's not his schedule, it's the election schedule. I agree.
Then acting like he's a Gentile and making Gentiles agree with him because they think he's them. But now they see that they don't go to jail. But Trump, everything that they did against Trump is what they're guilty of. They're breaking every law right in your face. But they are held not.
See, and that's what people see. They see an unfair justice system. They see people that are accusing him are guilty of the same thing. Yet they're not getting in trouble. Someone said that's Robert Downey Jr. So I feel like there's two movies. I think they tried to cancel. What the heck is the name of that movie again? Now it's escaping me. I think they tried to cancel that movie, but there's that one, and there's a movie called White Chicks that I really feel like flew under the radar. I don't know if that would be able to be made today. What I do appreciate and respect, though, has anyone seen the movie Tropic Thunder? There we go. Tropic Thunder. Yeah, somehow I think they tried to come after Tropic Thunder, but I think it's too much of a cult favorite. But White Chicks, what I appreciate though, I think it was Marlon Wayans. He's one of the brothers that made that movie. He said, he was asked about the movie and he goes, I actually think what the world needs is a White Chicks too. And I agree. I would love for them to make a White Chicks too. But there are certain scenes in that movie where I'm like, this really kind of flew under the radar. This one really escaped. Really escaped the mob. Blazing Saddles. I don't think I should watch Blazing Saddles. I hear a lot about it. I've never seen Blazing Saddles. Oh, another really good one. And it's kind of hard to find, and it might be because, well, considering today's standards, it's extremely offensive. Although I don't think it's offensive. It was really funny. There was a brilliant comedy. It's an indie comedy and it's a dark comedy. Oh shoot, what's the name of it? It's about beauty pageants. Hi, Special K. It's not Miss Congeniality. That wasn't a dark comedy. Okay, I can't think of the name of the movie. It's about beauty pageants in the Midwest. It has Denise Richards. It came out, I want to say, in the early 90s. There was a lot of really good dark comedies that came out in the early 90s. Okay, if you can think of the name of it, but that is an excellent movie. It is so funny, but you watch it and the jokes that they tell, you'll think to yourself, there is no way this movie would have been made nowadays. I'm not saying it shouldn't be made. I think it should, but just knowing what the climate is like, the censorship climate. So, no, not Wild Things. I think it's called Drop Dead Gorgeous. Hold on. Yep, that's what it's called. Drop Dead Gorgeous. Yeah, that's a funny movie. But it's very offensive. And they make fun of everyone. They go in on everything and everyone. Hello, Sebastian. Hello.
Look at all that the U.S. has earned, and now just an honest question. I think there are a lot about this lately. I think there are a lot of bad people in our government. And if you look at this from a 60,000 foot view, you look at the world and you look at all that the U.S. has intervened in, and now with the way the internet and the access to information, It's starting
Wow.
to paint another picture.
Okay, you know what's interesting? All right, I don't know if you know Sean Ryan. I don't know if you know who he is. But these two guys,
60,000 foot view. You look at the world and you look at all the.
I believe they're ex-combat veterans. Sean Ryan is asking the question on the mind of a lot of combat veterans. Wow, the best interviews happening. These go deep. You might not be around your kids when listening unless you don't mind if they see you cry. Wow. The Sean Ryan show. Highly recommend. I have been watching his podcast recently, and he has some incredible guests on. I've actually been less, and even though I talk about politics a lot recently, I've been less attracted to listening to political podcasts. And I've been listening to people that have conversations like this that aren't necessarily partisan, but that have deep conversations. And you know what that makes me think of? Essentially, what they're talking about is, do you ever look around and think maybe the US, are we the bad guys? We've always grown up thinking that we're the good guys, but are we the bad guys? And he's bringing up, look at all these things that we've intervened in for however long. That makes me think, that takes me right back. And if you've heard this story, I apologize. That brings me right back to 4th grade. I will never forget this lesson. And it's in part because, first of all, I had a really good teacher. Secondly, she was a great teacher. She had a way of explaining complicated adult concepts and get it down to our level in a way that you really grasped and understood it, and it would stick with you. So we were talking one day, we were learning about different types of government all around the world. And she was telling us about North Korea and just how the people are controlled. She was basically giving us a lesson on propaganda. By the way, this was Gwinnett County Public Schools. And it makes me so sad because when I went there, this was an incredible school district, incredible teachers. But it has made it on libs of TikTok several times. They have a super woke school board and teachers, and it's just not the same environment that it was when I went there. And that actually makes me really sad for the kids, because I had such good memories in that school system. Well, anyway, she's teaching us about North Korea and how the people are very controlled there. And our little 4th grade brains were like, what? What do you mean? How do they control the people? Don't they know that we're the good guys? And they're taught to not like the US. And then they're taught, basically, that's when she explained propaganda to us, and what propaganda was and how it's used to shift public opinion. And she says they have all of this propaganda and they don't have access to outside information the way that we do. And the way that she described it, which I'm not even saying people have access to the internet, that I have no idea. But the way she described it is, it's almost like when you get on the internet while you're at school, or at least it was back in our day, or when you're at work, you're logging on to that place's intranet, and they can control what you're able to access and what you're not able to access. So that's what she taught us. They control the access of information, and they can control public opinion. So that's a really interesting point to bring up, and an interesting question. And the comment that was attached to that is, a lot of combat veterans are questioning that themselves. Are we the bad guys? Have we just been convinced that we're the good guys? I have to believe that we're the good guys. I think there are good guys, but I also think that there are a lot of bad guys in our government that are really high up. Oh, you disagree with that. So Sir TDS said, we did not start 2 world wars or make communism popular. I disagree with that. Fair. I think we're the good because I think we're the good guys because we are told by school and movies and TV. Well, I think it's always fair to question. I question myself all the time. I'm like, wait, am I on the bad side? Speaking of people in the government, Joe Biden. Biden hates Putin and Trump. And it's just like any field. You can have really awful people in that field. And I think that government, anytime you have positions of power, you're going to attract people that want to abuse that power, I think, all the time. And it's like that with every level and every job. You know, there was recently a conversation about foster parents. A lot of kids get abused in the foster care system because there's a lot of foster parents that go into that system with bad intentions. They might be doing it only for the money, or sometimes if you're really sick in the head, you do it to gain access to vulnerable populations. So yeah, a job, like a lot of bad people work in nursing homes. That happens where staff will do bad things to their patients. And again, it's like it when you're in a position of power over anyone, that will attract bad people and people will abuse that power. And I think with our government too, especially with local politics, the reason our cities are so out of control is because I think it's obviously in part them. You have a lot of corrupt people that are in local politics also, but I also think you have us, especially like if you grew up when I grew up, you didn't have to watch every single move that your politician makes. You didn't have to read every single line of every single bill to understand what they're actually passing. I think mostly on the local level, obviously not everyone, there's corruption everywhere, but I think at least mostly on the local level, people had common sense policies. And then you got people in there that are married to their partisan politics or their ideology or whatever corrupt thing got them into office, which kind of sucks.
When you come back.
Speaking of politicians, you know what? I gotta hand it to Biden in this video. So these kids, it's their first day back at school. So he goes to school to say hi to him. I do have to say he was a little bit more normal. This was a more normal interaction with him. And I like it, even if I don't like you. I don't know. There's something heartwarming about a president going to a school and meeting kids. Because these kids don't know any better. So they're gonna grow up having a cool experience of meeting the president, and he was somewhat normal.
The hardest thing I think is when you come back. What's the matter, baby? You look at me like I don't want to do this mess. The hardest thing is to come back after 3 months of not doing any work, not doing any homework, and all of a sudden, you've got a lot to make up. Everybody has a lot to catch up from what the end of the last year.
I mean, that was a nice interaction. It is kind of funny though that he talks about coming back after not doing any work because he just took 2 vacations. He also spent 40% of his presidency on vacation. So there's that. So it's just ironic that he uses that. Here's Peter Ducey today. Speaking of Jill is there to feed him his lines. She is always right next to him. I think she's the actual president. Oh, by the way, there was an update with the staffer that drowned on Obama's property. So it's been officially ruled as an accident. And the other person he was with was this is what they're reporting, was a 26-year-old female staffer. I don't know who it was. Apparently, it was a member of the Secret Service who called 911. But they will not release the phone call. So people have tried to obtain the phone call. It's not being released. So there's that. I also spoke with someone who has a home on the island, and people there, they think it's weird. They think it's weird. It's just, so there's that. That's the update with that. I can't remember if it was the Daily Mail or who was it that was trying to get more information about it, but they're not releasing the 911 call. So we don't know what they said. And it's still a mystery as to how a seemingly pretty decent swimmer, he's probably a better swimmer than I am, drowns in 8 feet of water, or if anything happened. It's pretty wild. I could see if you fell and hit your head, but they're not saying that. I don't know. Okay, so this is Peter Ducey.
Service is paying $16,000 a month now to stage near Hunter Biden in Malibu. Service is paying $16,000 a month now to stage near Hunter Biden in Malibu. Who's paying for that?
That's a question for the Secret Service.
Okay, Hunter Biden.
Yeah, that is true, by the way. Hunter Biden, I think he's staying in a place that's like $15,000 a month. The Secret Service is staying across the street from him at a place that is 16,000. Did I say 1,500? I meant 15,000. I can't remember what I said. The Secret Service is staying across the street at 16,000. That's a lot of money.
Is reportedly selling art to pay for his $15,800 a month rent in Malibu. How can you guarantee that people are not going to be buying this art to gain favor with the president?
That is a question for Hunter Biden and his representatives. I know. I hear.
From the Biden administration, can you guarantee that there's?
I hear your question. I'm not going to get involved in this. That is a question for Hunter Biden's representatives.
So, but we know that from a Hunter Biden associate now that he sold the appearance of access to Vice President Biden. Are you confident that he has stopped doing that?
That is a question for Hunter Biden.
If somebody is selling the appearance of
That is
for the White House.
no. That is your I don't know how you're perceiving that.
It's my testimony.
I am just not, Peter. I'm just not going to get into this. I'm just not.
So this testimony, since the last time that I was in here, Devin talks about how he and Hunter Biden tried to profit off the Biden brand. What is the Biden brand?
I'm not going to get into it from here. I'm not going to get.
At least Jen Psaki would say, "I'll circle back to that." At least. She doesn't even circle back. She just says, "No, we're not answering that." She didn't even say she'll try to get the answer. I think that's a legitimate question. I've never seen someone's art career take off so quickly. Like, then, the circle back stack. Did Jen ever circle back to any of those things? I don't think so. But she does have a job. Where is she working now? I can't remember. I can't remember the network she's working for, but she does have a job. All right, you all. Well, I'm going to go ahead and hop off. Thank you so much for joining. That was fun. And yeah, it's still raining. It's just a crappy day today. Thank you for joining. Am I on AOL? No. Is AOL still, is that still a thing? All right. Thank you, everyone. Y'all have a good day. Hopefully the weather is a little bit better where you are. And I will see you later. I love your contagious smile. Have a great day. Thank you very much. All right. I'll see you later, you all. Bye.